Hello students, I hope you are well. Today we are starting with our very first topic of textbook, which is a poem where the mind is without fear. Now this poem is written by Rabindranath Tagore. He was also given the title of Sir by the Britishers, as he was a great name in his field of literature, and he has written various well-known, worldwide well-known poems, and for this achievement he was given the title of Sir by the Britishers. Now before directly coming to the poem, let us first see few warm-up activities which is given in your textbook. Now this textbook which I am having is of previous year, so all the answers are written over here, but I will be explaining you okay what is given. Now you see first activity, which is a match the pair. Now in column A few terms are given, and in column B their meanings are given. Now you have to match it. Okay, now see, first it is given humanism, patriotism, internationalism, liberalism and environmentalism. Now humanism means concerning of human beings, humanity. Okay, patriotism means love for the country. Internationalism means okay bringing the world together, making it a kind of, you have heard the word globalization. Okay, liberalism means having liberal values, that is freedom, okay, rights. Then environmentalism means taking care and being concerned about the environment. Now you see few meanings are given, you have to match it. Now first is A, that is concern about an concern about and action aimed at protecting the environment. So it clearly is the meaning of environmentalism. Holding liberal values means liberalism. Quality of being patriotic, vigorous support for one's country means patriotism. Now state or process of being international, it means internationalism. A rationalistic outlook towards humans rather than a divine or supernatural one, which means humanism. Okay, now see, rationalism means a thing which is accepted by the society, which is accepted by each and everyone in the society, means by the people. Okay, so rationalistic also means logical, because unless and until it won't be logical, people won't be accepting it. So this was our first warm-up activities. Clear? Now we will be seeing that what these terms have to be in connection with the poem. Okay, because some of these terms have direct or indirect connection with the poem, that is why it is given in the warm-up activities. Now coming to the second. Now see here, now English poem is categorized into different kinds, different types. Here some are given over here. See, poems in English are of different types, that is sonnet, epic, limerick, lyric, ballad, humorous, elegy, idyll and free verse. And here a list is given, total 9. See, list is given, and it is been told that if the poem is having these features, then what the poems will be called. So now see, sonnet is a poem. Sonnet is a poem which is of 14 lines. So if for 14 line English poem is there, it will be called as sonnet. Now limerick is a poem which is of limerick is a poem which is of 5 lines. It is a humorous poem of 5 lines with a specific rhyme scheme. That poem is called as limerick. Then ballad you might have seen the means ballad in the previous year textbook, 9th standard. See the last poem, Tansen. Okay, ballad is a story which is said in poetry form. Okay, that is called as ballad. Clear? Now elegy is a sad poem. Okay, sad poem written in memory of someone. Free verse means the poem which does not have any specific rhyme scheme. Then epic is the story, mythical story such as Ramayana kind of. So this is epic. Okay, lyric with a particular means you can say song like poem, that is called as lyric. Then humorous, as you know, that it will be comedy, witty in language. Then idyll is a kind of poem in which the lines or the things which is written, so it specifies a particular kind of background scenario. Okay, scenic beauty of village area, remote area, most probably. So that kind of poem will be called as ideal. Now see here, 9 features are mentioned. You have to write that which it belongs to, which kind of poem this will be. Okay, here the answers are written. So as I explained you, these all types of English poems, okay, on the basis of it, you please fill it up. Clear? Then you can later on check the answer, but try to write by yourself. Okay, so this was the warm up activity which we have completed within 5 to 6 minutes. Now coming on to our main topic, that is poem where the mind is without fear. First I will be reading, okay, what is given about Rabindranath Tagore. He was born in 1861 and passed in 1941. Okay, means before the independence. Now, Rabindranath Tagore was the author of Gitanjali. Now, Gitanjali is his book in which he has written many poems and many literature work is been there in his book, and from that Gitanjali book only this poem is been extracted and given in your textbook. Clear? So this was a poem which is basically written in his book Gitanjali, for which he also got Nobel Prize. Now see, Sir Rabindranath Tagore was the author of Gitanjali and its profound sensitive, fresh and beautiful verse. He became the first non-European to win Nobel Prize in Literature in 1913. So it was a great achievement. He is recognized not only in India but also in the world, and he was the first European in entire world to receive, first non-European, okay, in the entire world to receive Nobel Prize in Literature. This poem is one of his vastly read and discussed poem. Okay, so it is a very famous poem which we are going to see now. It was originally composed in Bengali and later he himself translated it into English. So first he wrote this poem in Bengali language, then he only himself he translated after getting so much recognition and fame, and this poem became so famous that he translated this poem into English for the other readers as well, those who are not knowing Bengali language. Okay, this poem is from his Nobel Prize winning anthology Gitanjali. As I told, anthology means a collection, a compilation of poems and literature work together. Okay, that is called as anthology. Tagore lived during the time when India was ruled by the British. In this poem, besides political freedom from British, Tagore also appeals to God for social, educational and economic freedom for the people of India. So this poem contains not only a desire, a wish, a prayer to God for social welfare, for social development, but as well as educational and economic freedom for the people of India. Clear? Educational means that the people should become logical, rational, educated, literate. Okay, economic freedom means, as you know, in British time there were so many taxes and restriction put on Indian people and Indian tradesperson, merchants. So this is the poem which defines that how a country should look like, means free from every kind of restriction, every kind of prohibition, and the people should get liberty, freedom, the rights, equality. So this is the poem which tells us about that. Okay, so this was a short you can say information which was given about the poem and Rabindranath Tagore. Now we are coming on to the main poem. Now see, before going to the explanation, I would just like to summarize the poem in short. Now see, this is a poem in which the poet is desiring or wishing that what kind of nation, what kind of country the poet want to see. Or as you know, the Rabindranath Tagore was an Indian, so therefore he was expecting that India as a nation, that India should become such kind of country, means where people will be having liberty, people will be having freedom, people will be having equality, people will be educated, they will be literate. So it is a kind of dream, you can say. Okay, or you can say prayer, which India was not there at that time when he was writing this poem. India was very ruined, India was destroyed, India was not having such kind of, you can say, qualities. And in this poem, Rabindranath Tagore is dreaming that India in future must have or will be having. Okay, these all qualities of social welfareness and means India will be removed from poverty, India will be educated, people of India will be united. So he's kind of dream, you can say expecting, and the in the means, and simultaneously he's also praying to God that India should become such kind of country. Now see here, let us go through line by line. First I will be reading the entire poem, then I will be going line by line. Now see here, where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee into ever widening thought and action, into that heaven of freedom, my father, let my country awake. Written by Rabindranath Tagore. Okay, so this was the poem. Now let us start with the explanation. Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high. Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high means he is telling where the mind is without fear means a kind of place, okay, a particular place, a particular area, a particular region where there is no fear in our brains, there is no means there is nothing to be afraid of, there is no kind of restriction, there is no kind of botheration, and where the head is held high. Where the head is held high, what does that mean? It means with pride, okay, with pride, with self-esteem, with respect. So each and everyone means he is desiring, he is wishing of a nation, or he is wishing that India will become such a nation that where the mind will not be having any kind of fear, the people will be free to speak, okay, free to take what they want, what they desire. There will be liberty, and the head is held high, and each and everyone will be getting respect, each and everyone will be having their self-esteem. There will be no casteism, there will be no communalism, there will be no class, okay, in which the society will be divided. Where knowledge is free means where each and everyone will be allowed to gain knowledge, where each and everyone will be allowed to get educated. As you know, in the past each and everyone was not allowed to get educated. You can say Dalits, women, girls, they were not allowed to attend the schools, and people, even people, okay, were reluctant to get educated at that time. So where knowledge is free means there is no restriction on gaining knowledge, where the world has not broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls. Now into fragments means small parts, small particles, you can say. Okay, so where the world has not been broken up, world means here means society, people, where the people are not been divided, okay, broken up into fragments means divided by narrow domestic walls. Now see, now also we can see in the news and some cases we see that people are divided, okay, on the basis of religion, on the basis of caste, on the basis of language, on the basis of color, on the basis of gender. Okay, so these are all narrow domestic walls, means these are not of any importance, these things are not of any importance. Though we are of different religion, though we are using different language to communicate, but we all are human at last. Okay, so these are all narrow domestic walls, narrow thin domestic means internal walls, which we in the society, it is only present, it is not came from somewhere outside. For example, British are trying to divide us in their rule, in the regime. But domestic means our internal walls which we have created, okay, on the basis of language, on the basis of religion, okay, on the basis of caste. So where the world has not been broken up into fragments. What does that mean? That a country, a land which will be free of any kind of division, where each and every person will come for brotherhood, okay, they will be taking care of each other, and they won't be fighting, there won't be a kind of civil war. Understood? So there won't be any kind of division in the society where the world has not been broken up into fragments. Clear this line? By narrow domestic walls. Where words come out from the depth of truth, means where each and everyone, whoever speaks, they speak truth. And not only in speaking there is truth. Truth is in everything. What we are telling, what we are listening, what we are doing, we should do each and everything with honesty. We should work hard, okay? So truth is not only in saying. Clear? It might be having an inclusive meaning. Means there are a lot of other things which are included over here in this line, that where words come out from the depth of truth. Means what we are telling, what we are doing is same. Okay, what we are telling and then another thing we are doing, we are being dishonest to our words. That is not the country which Rabindranath Tagore wants. Rabindranath Tagore wants that where each and every people is honest to their words and they speak truth and they do their work with full honesty. Where tireless striving stretches its arm towards perfection. Means where people are nation, where people are hardworking, where people will struggle to achieve perfection. They will do continuous efforts. They won't be tired by the struggles. Okay, striving and struggles, again these both are, you can say, synonym. So in this line stretches its arm, striving. Okay, striving means struggle. Tireless means without getting tired. So in this line you can see where tireless, here alliteration, it is clear, alliteration, clear. So where tireless striving stretches its arm towards perfection, means people are struggling, they are striving, they are doing hard work and consistently and continuously they are doing it to achieve success at last, and they will be achieving success because hard work never waste. Clear? Where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert and sand of dead habits. Now here you can see where tireless striving stretches its arm. Here personification is also there. Clear? Because why personification? Because tireless striving, now it is not a human being, no? Stretches its arm. So tireless striving is stretching its arm. Stretching arms is a quality of human beings, but it is given to tireless striving, which is not a human being. So it is personification. A non-human being is given a human quality. Clear? Now where the clear, next line, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert of dead habit. Now dreary desert means very dangerous, means fatal, brittle, deadly, you can say in easy words. Clear? So here what it is been told over here, that clear stream of reasons now means reasons, logic, scientific temper, scientific thinking should not lost its way. What does that mean? That people should not forget logical thinking, rational and logical mindset and mentality, and they should not forget these all things and start believing in blind faith and superstition. Understood? You know what is superstition and blind faith. So people must be having logical mindset, reasoning mindset. Clear? And they means if they are not having, then what it means that they have lost its way, means they are on another path, the path of destruction, and that path where it will be taking the people and the nation into the dreary desert. Okay, into the dreary desert. Clear? And dead habits here, dead habit meaning is the same which I told you, superstition and blind faith. So now see, this is the meaning. Now what the poet wants to say in the poet's language, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habits, means a nation, a country, okay, must be on the scientific path, on the logical path, on the reasoning and rational path. It should not lose its path and start doing superstition and believing in blind faith. Okay, they should not do it. Why? Because these all things are dead habits, and they will lead us into dreary desert sand. Means we will be destroyed, we will be ruined altogether if we will stop having scientific belief and start following superstition and blind faith. Then coming on to next, where the mind is led forward by thee. Now you know no thee. Thee means in old English it was used, no? Thee, thou, though. We study means you, your, yours. So thee means you. Where the mind is led forward by you into ever widening thought and action. Into thee, by thee means the people of the nation, the people. Okay, staying in the country. So the where the mind is led forward means we have to start growing our intellectual, our mentality. We should not go into the past. We should start thinking about the future. We should come out with innovatives and new philosophical ideas of living, of treating, as I said you, of humanism. We should start developing liberalism as we have seen over here, correct? Liberalism, humanism, environmentalism. So we should start having new thoughts and ideas where the mind is led forward. Okay, we should stop being in the past, that what our ancestors were doing, the same thing we will be following. It should not be like that way. We should we should means calculate it, we should see it, we should observe it. If whatever they were doing was correct, logical, rational, then we should carry forward it. But if they were wrong and if we need something new, so we have to follow that. We should not keep on saying that no, our ancestors were doing like this way, so we will also be following the same, though it was wrong. So it was wrong at that time, it will also be wrong at our time. So this is not a logical reason that our ancestors were doing, so we will also be doing. Okay, if we have come out with new ideas, productive ideas and thoughts, okay, then we have to follow that. Into ever widening thought and action means the mind will be led forward by us into ever widening thought and action, which will be keep on growing. There will be no restriction, means everyone will be allowed to speak, will be allowed to think, will be allowed to come out with new ideas and thoughts. New philosophy will be generated, new way of style will be coming out. So there will be no restriction on any culture, any tradition, nothing. Everyone will be allowed to follow their own. Into the heaven, and into that heaven of freedom, my father led my country away. Okay, so into ever widening thought and action, into that heaven of freedom. Heaven of freedom means that country which the Rabindranath Tagore, with the poet is dreaming, that country will become a kind, means it will become a heaven, it will become a paradise. If these all things people will start following, and if these all things which poet has described in this poem is been telling, if these qualities, these features, this characteristic, okay, and the country of the nature will become like this way, then that country will become a kind of heaven of freedom. Okay, there will be freedom, there will be liberty, there will be socialization, there will be humanism, there will be each and everything, liberalism. Okay, so it will become a heaven for the people, okay, living in that country. Now see here, it is a kind of prayer, okay, and simultaneously desire the poet is expressing. My father let my country awake means, what does that mean? कि मेरी country को जगा दो, means my wake my country's people, means the people, means the poet wants to tell that the people should change, they should stop, means they should be awake, they should observe, they should understand, okay, that what is going on, what is happening in the country, and they should start taking initiative to change those things, to change those bad things. Clear? Let my country awake. So this is the poem written by Sir Rabindranath Tagore, in which Sir Rabindranath Tagore is dreaming, is praying, is expecting, okay, a kind of the country which he wants India to be and what kind of country he wants to be. So all the features and characteristics, all the qualities are being mentioned in the poem. So this was the poem. I hope you people have understood. I explained you line wise. Okay. Now this is the poem which is written in free verse. There are many figure of speech which I have marked in this book over here. Now you can see in these lines. Now antithesis. What do you mean by antithesis? Antithesis means two opposite words. Two words having opposite meanings. Two words having opposite meanings come in the same line. Then that is called as that is called as antithesis. Now see here, it is antithesis. Clear? Into ever widening thought and action. So now here, as I told you, figure of speech are given. Now see a thought and action. So a kind of opposite. These two are having. Thought means you have to think, action means you have to do. So a kind of active and passive, passive and active. So it is antithesis. Now see a metaphor is given into the dreary desert of dead habits. So here dead habits is been indirectly compared to dreary desert. So it is metaphor. Okay, now a separate lesson, online lesson, already I think so it has been taken regarding figure of speech. So I don't remember actually. Okay, so if it is been done online lesson based on figure of speech, you can please go and go through that video once again. Or if it is not been taken, I will be seeing in future to make a separate online lesson regarding figure of speech. Okay, in that I will be explaining in detail. But in 9th standard also, these all figure of speech, these are basic figure of speech which already has been completed in 9th standard. Metaphor, simile, personification, antithesis, tautology also one it is there. Now see here also. Okay, into that heaven of freedom, my father let my country awake. Okay, heaven of freedom. So a metaphor, because heaven of freedom is being told to the nation, to the country. So a country is a country is indirectly compared to heaven of freedom. Heaven, you can say. Okay, so again it is metaphor. Indirect comparison is made. Now after this poem, see there are many activities, English workshop. Okay, it is also given. Now see here what it is being given in your notebook. Write down lines from the poem as a proof for the following. Now let me solve two of these for you. Then you can rest, try at home. Tagore wishes for a nation where people are truthful. Now which line in the poem tells us that Rabindranath Tagore is wishing for a country to be truthful? Okay, so you can say this is the line where words come out from the depth of mouth, or from the depth of truth. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth line. Fine. So you have to read this. Now see here, second one. The poet would like everyone to work hard to reach their goal and in the long run to reach perfection. So in which line Tagore is telling so that you have to work hard and you have to continuously keep on moving forward to achieve goal, and at last that will also lead to you into perfection. So I think so this is the line where tireless striving stretches its arm toward perfection. So like this way you have to, means this is a kind of explanation which is given. You have to write down the line number, that which line in the poem explanation is this. Okay, now second is match the following. Now same way, here the phrases are given which are used in the poem, and here the meanings are given. So you have to mark, you have to write down that which phrase meaning is which. Clear? Example, the head is held high. So tell me, the head is held high means this, a person with self-respect and proud of possessing it. Okay. Narrow domestic wall. What does that mean? Narrow domestic wall means narrow-mindedness. Clear? So like this way you have to read the phrases and you have to mark the, see here, you have to mark the answers. I hope that it will be easy for you. After explaining the entire poem, you will be able to you will be able to write down the answer on your own. Okay, because 2 3 in every activity I'm doing it, rest you have to do. I'm just explaining you the question, that what you have to do in these questions. Answer the following questions in your own word. So again, this is your own response question, that you can practice at least 5 to 6 line answer you have to write down for it. Below that, write in your notebook your own response and justify where needed. So is the poem a prayer for India alone? So no, obviously no, it is not for India alone. It is for entire world. That entire world, or every nation, every country in the world has to be like this way. The people has to be of such kind. So it is not only for India. Okay. So please go through, read this. Fine. Then coming over here, more activities are given. Now see, the video is already of half an hour, so I will be stopping my video over here. It is might possible that in detail these activities will be solved and explained you by another teacher. Okay, in next video, that I think so will be coming on next Monday. Okay, next Monday, in next video of English will be coming. So in that, another teacher will be teaching you these all activities, and you by yourself also, it is your responsibility also that you go through these questions and you try to solve it and mark the answers of the answers which you don't, of the answers of the question which you don't know. You leave it empty. When that teacher will be explaining it to you and giving you the answers, at that time you can note it down. Clear? Or you can ask the doubt, because next lecture will be interactive one, which will be on, means live lesson it will be, where you will be participating on a particular software. You will be coming online and teacher will also be online, and live lesson will be taken. So there you can ask the doubt. Okay, and this will be our second chapter, that is the thief story. Okay, a very nice chapter, a kind of having, means that this chapter is having, this story is having moral as well as a bit funny also. So this was our first poem. Thank you.